Retail theft is a problem hitting cities across the Bay Area and across the country for that matter. Thieves ransacking shelves and then just running out, leaving the stores, law enforcement, and city leaders looking for solutions to fight it. The National Retail Federation says San Francisco and Oakland are among the cities most impacted by organized retail crime, along with Los Angeles, Houston, and New York. In fact, just today, San Francisco's DA announced charges against a 20-year-old man from Daly City involved in organized retail theft. He's accused of helping steal over $100,000 worth of stuff from a number of stores and causing thousands of dollars in damage. But still, thieves have been getting bolder and bolder when it comes to retail theft. In San Francisco recently, one of our producers saw a group ransacking a Walgreens, and he caught it all on camera. As Julia Goodrich shows us, the recording didn't stop them.
On Easter Sunday, this brazen group grabbing what they please. Wearing hoodies and carrying bags and backpacks, they went up and down the aisles, stealing merchandise. There is a security camera inside the store, and a KPIX employee was taking this video, but this group didn't seem to care.
And it was just like an ambush, basically. That's pretty much it. It was that quick.
Our producer who took this video didn't want to be identified, but describes what happened.
It took me about 3 seconds to pull my phone out and started videoing or filming, and they just had no care at all. So.
Were you concerned even standing in their way, taking video?
No, I mean, it's San Francisco. I'm so kind of immune to it at this point.
What was the reaction of the employees during and after?
They did nothing. Basically, I think they're also probably immune to it. Again, it's that area. It's a market and civic center. I think they're used to smash and grabs in that area, especially the Walgreens and CVS's. So I think they're taught not to do anything.
Sal is a vendor and goes into this Walgreens store and others weekly.
They think it's a free-all. They think it's just you could grab and go as you please.
Have you been working in the store when that's happened?
I see it often.
When I walked in this particular Walgreens, there is a video camera. There's a security guard today. Is that not enough?
No, it's never enough.
We showed San Francisco Board of Supervisor Matt Dorsey this video. He lives just a few blocks away from the Walgreens and shops there. He points to San Francisco's police staffing crisis.
If we had a fully staffed police department, we could have a robbery unit that was doing more enforcement around places where retail theft plays out, holding more people accountable, and doing more to go after the fencing operations and the kinds of operations that make this lucrative.
How did you feel when it was happening and then after when you had the video?
I was in shock, angry, because I live in San Francisco and, you hear about this stuff and you see it happening all the time.
Now, San Francisco has tried a number of strategies to fight organized retail crime, like carrying out blitz operations to arrest shoplifters at stores that are constantly hit. Back in March, police touted a 30% drop in property crime compared to last year. Still ahead, could self-checkout lanes be part of the problem? We talk live with a state senator proposing new rules to help stop retail crime and keep workers safe. Welcome back. We are focusing today on retail theft and potential ways to fight it across the Bay Area. The organized theft operations seem to be getting bigger and bigger. In Alameda County, piles and piles of clothes, 8 truckloads worth, were part of a haul of stolen merchandise recovered by police at a home in Oakland back in March. They also recovered $10,000 in cash and several vehicles. Police caught wind of the operation after a February 9th mass shoplifting at an Old Navy store in Alameda. The store's security team spotted a pattern of other thefts at stores in the shopping center and helped police identify the people involved and where they were dropping it off.
We began to learn that loss from retailers outside of Alameda in other cities was being brought to that location as well. So that further led us to believe that there was a fencing operation that where loss throughout the region was coming to.
And as retail theft increases, California Attorney General Rob Bonta says it's not only being committed by people in need.
Let me be clear. This is not about one-off thefts from stores. It's not about the occasional smash and grab at your local big box store. This is about a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise. Criminal schemes that are complex, orchestrated, and incredibly organized.
State lawmakers are discussing a package of bills aimed at stopping organized retail theft. The measures include increased penalties and a requirement for online retailers to have records to prove their goods are legal. And one proposed solution to fight retail theft includes changes to the way we shop at grocery stores. A new state bill could force grocery and drug stores to remove self-checkout machines unless they follow certain rules, like having an employee monitor the lanes and limiting customers to 10 items or less in those lanes.
As a grocery store worker, my workers and I have witnessed firsthand the reduction of staffing due to self-checkout and the increase in workplace violence as a result of theft. Retail theft.
Now, the bill is supported by organized labor unions, but business groups, including the California Chamber of Commerce, are against it. Some Bay Area stores have already removed those self-checkout lanes because of shoplifting, like the Safeway in San Francisco's Fillmore neighborhood. Last year, they added gates designed to deter thefts along with more guards.
Seen, like I said, two guys stuffing packages of chicken into their backpacks. And when I came and told the security people about it, they said, well, there's nothing we can do. We have to see them in action.
Now, at the time, workers at this Target store in San Francisco told us the screens at the self-checkout area were deactivated due to shoplifting. Joining me live now is State Senator Lola Smallwood-Cuevas, who is behind that bill to regulate self-checkout. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so how big of an issue are those self-checkout lanes when it comes to retail theft?
It's a huge issue. There's estimates by the industry that about 16 times more loss happens at a self-checkout lane, costing the industry about $10 billion. And so it is our responsibility to look upstream and to figure out what are the ways that we address this retail theft. We ensure that workers are safe. We also ensure that we don't displace workers with automation and create a safe shopping experience in stores for consumer. My bill, SB 1446, does that by simply regulating how we use checkout lanes. We're not saying get rid of them, but what we are saying is that we need to have at least one worker for every two workers for every one lane, and that we have to study to see how automation and these kinds of technologies that impact the number of workers we have in the workplace, what is the impact on that in terms of our shopping experience and our safety? And that's what this bill does.
Now, opponents of the bill worry that a lot of the stores have already limited the self-checkout lanes, and these regulations are really unnecessary because they've done it on their own.
Well, some retailers have come to that conclusion, but we think it's important for the industry as a whole to be a partner in how we deal with retail theft. As many of my colleagues are looking at increasing prison time for nonviolent property theft, I think it's important that retailers, along with the workers in the stores, come together to think of alternative strategies that actually address the problem. When 16 times more loss, or as the industry calls shrinkage, happens at a self-checkout stand, we have to look at how we regulate this, and we have to look at how these self-checkout counters are impacting our communities in this moment. You know, we've had these counters now, self-checkout, since the 90s, and we never really had the opportunity to study and look at their impacts. But now, as we are facing the issue of retail theft, we're facing this issue of many people shopping online versus in stores, and we're also facing an issue where we need to have more good jobs in our communities. It's forcing us to look at this issue through an intersectional lens that brings all of the parties together, and that's what this bill does. It brings the retailers, it brings the workers, and it brings the consumer into the conversation. Fewer workers in a store increases health and safety risk. I have seen 12 checkout lanes and just one worker trying to help folks figure out the machine while, some folks are trying to bombard their way through because they have stolen items in their cart. We know that understaffed stores create the opportunity for theft. It also creates the opportunity for public unsafe conditions. And we think that it's about time for us to look at this technology and have a way to have a win-win. Yeah, reducing retail theft, but also improving the safety of shoppers.
Speaking of shoppers, though, there is a concern that if this bill goes through, it could be an increase in labor costs, which could then trickle down to the consumer who are already paying more at the grocery store. What do you say to them?
Well, what I say to them is that we're already losing $10 billion in theft through self-checkout, and that is costing the consumer. And there was a recent lawsuit in which some of the stores, I believe it was Walmart, there was a class action suit in which the retailers were changing the scales within the self-checkout, often charging those customers more than other customers. So the idea that we need to stop, take a look in our rearview mirror at how this automation and technology is impacting our workplace and our safety is now. This is the time for us to look at it. And I think in the end, this bill presents solutions that will help all of our constituents and all of our communities that want to have thriving retail centers and in-store shopping experience, but also want to make sure the customers and the employees are safe.
Yeah, it's impacting all of the consumers, no question. We're going to stay on top of this really important conversation. Thank you so much, State Senator Lola Smallwood-Cuevas.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, still ahead, we look at other cashier-less options that retailers have tried here in the Bay Area and how they've actually done in the last few years. Stay with us. This half hour, we're talking about retail theft and a push for new rules on self-checkout lanes to make them more secure. While a lot of customers like the self-checkout, saying it's more convenient, another cashier-less option didn't quite catch on, at least not here. Take a look. We're talking about Amazon Go. Remember that? The idea was you just scan your items, use your app, and then you're done. Take off. Well, the goods were charged to your Amazon account, in theory. The online retailer opened its first Amazon Go store here in San Francisco in October of 2018. But by spring of last year, it had closed all 4 of its SF locations. Amazon says it was to cut costs. The company was accused of discrimination since the shop required having a bank card and a smartphone to shop. Meanwhile, San Francisco's other cashier-less store chain, Zippin, beat Amazon Go to the punch back in 2018, opening the city's first cashier-less store near Salesforce Tower. Now the company is offering their scan-and-go technology to retailers looking to go cashier-less, with partnerships including Dave & Buster's, Coca-Cola, and several major sports league stadiums across the country. We'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining us in today's conversation about the safety of self-checkouts amid growing retail theft in the Bay Area and beyond. We'd love to hear what you think. Are new rules on self-checkouts the answer to all this? Post your thoughts online using the hashtag KPIX. CBS Evening News is next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. I'll see you at 5.
Thanks for watching. You can get the latest headlines and weather over on Pix Plus. And remember to like and click the button on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe for the biggest Bay Area news.